spirit of the game, what does that mean for the millennial, for the Gen Z, for the 18-year-old watching or less watching shows like this? But I don't explain it to you. It's just some things you just didn't do. It's in your DNA to not do. And it's not a question really of the right and wrong of it in terms of advantage, disadvantage, but you just didn't do it.
Yeah.
It's like you wouldn't, hit an animal unnecessarily.
Yeah.
You just don't do it.
No, because the game now has changed, hasn't it? I mean, it's very professional. There's careers at stake. There's all this money going around, and there's sponsors, and there's endorsements, and they know that that's why a lot of them don't walk. I don't mind it if a player doesn't walk, but if he gets a dodgy one.
In your time, how many did? Lara? Gilchrist? I can't remember.
Yeah, there's a few. Sangakkara.
Sangha walked?
Gilchrist, Brian Lara.
That's three.
Sachin
three.
Tendulkar.
Sachin walked?
But that's what they wanted, and you got to respect that. But also you got to respect the people that don't walk. However, they got to respect the umpire when they
make a mistake.
Fair. Or
That's
an
a super
error.
point. No, you're right.
And because you win some and you lose some.
Yeah.
So you can't have the cake and eat it. I don't mind it. If you're a walker, fantastic. If you're not, fantastic. But
see, this brings us to a slightly more technical point, which now I can't resist as a cricket lover, which is, again, I'm very pro the human factor and like the umpire in the game with the mistakes, and we hope it evens out. And even if it doesn't even out in a career, it does even out for a team, I would think.
Absolutely.
Of time.
Absolutely. I think I try not to say mistakes or errors. I always say it's learnings. We always learn. Players are learning, umpires are learning. But at the end of the day, you've got to do what is right for the game, from an umpiring point of view, and for a player. And they've got to wake up in the morning feeling good about themselves, or look in the mirror and say, have I done the game justice? Have I brought the integrity of the game, or have I brought the game in disrepute? And that's what they've got to look at. And everyone's different.
See, I'm a huge fan of Ravi Ashwin as a cricketer, and I just totally disagree on the Mankad thing. I just think, it originated Vinu Mankad, which is very much India, but all said and done, I think it's an unnecessary. We don't need that in the game. And when you're as talented as these guys are, you're going to get the wicket anyway. You don't need to do that.
Yes, at the end of the day, the batter just has to stay behind the line. It's quite simple, isn't it? They got to stay behind the line. But in saying that, I've always thought, are they taking advantage? If they're not, it's not a great concern. No one's died, hasn't it?
Yeah.
What does the game deserve? And it probably, as Ashwin will say, batsmen should be behind the line. That's what the game deserves.
But I think the moment the run-up starts for the spinner, I think he should be allowed to start moving. Because the game's in play. Now, if you want to get really technical, that's as devil's advocate. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I understand if Brett Lee is bowling and you've got 200 yards to go, then obviously you can't start running then because, But if you go back to one of the World Cups, I think 1987 or 96, 87, I think, Courtney Walsh does not Mankad. He had a chance to get the Pakistani tailender, which would have turned the game. And he just pulls up and just does this and smiles at him. Yes. And then they lose a very close game to Pakistan and get out of the World Cup. And I'm thinking that was the spirit of the game. And I remember Viv Richards in tears, lying on his back. But hey, that's
100%. And that's what it is at the end of the day. You just got to actually ride with it and go with it. Mankad, it's a strange word, isn't it? Mankad. Should it be in the game? Not really, but it is in the game. It's just like DRS. It's in the game. It's going to be here forever.
And the sad part is, as a history buff, a lover of the game, Mankad is one of the great Indian players of all time, all-rounders, who today's generation won't even remember his name or what he did, but they remember this word Mankaded, which means, sort of run out through dubious means, the non-striker, which is not the way you should remember one of the greats of our country and, one of the all-time greats.
Look, Cyrus, people will forget what you do, people will forget what you say, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And to me, that's really important when you leave this game. How did you make the game feel? How do you make yourself feel? How do you make the fans feel? And I think that's really important, and that's how I want to. As I'm still umpiring first-class cricket, I'm still going strong. I've still got plenty of umpiring bones in me.
So back home in New Zealand, you're still going strong.
Oh yes, still going strong. But it's a different way I'm umpiring now. It's more helping and and supporting the umpires coming through and helping them not to make the mistakes that I
you're a
used to make
mentor.
over 35 years, that they can actually save their careers by at least 5 years by not making them mistakes, and also the good stuff, also to carry those good stuff along in their journey, in their career.
But here's a thought, and I'm just putting it out there. Don't you think the umpire should be given a chair? I mean, 5 days in the hot sun in the subcontinent sometimes, Sri Lanka, places like that.
Cheers, Cyrus, yeah.
Come on. Young Billy Bowden, he's sweating, he's tired, they're heckling, they're screaming, they're shouting, Sachin, he's going nuts. Give him a chair.
And the only thing is we've got to get it into position, and we
See,
can't
but
take our
anyway,
chair with you.
But you sort of crouch. You crouch for sure.
Yes, yeah.
So at the end of the day, we can figure out a chair that suits you, or maybe you can have one of those chairs that you wheel up and wheel down, those dentist chair thingies.